Tutorial video. I usually don't do these, but this is something that I want to remind myself of, and I think this is like something that I found really, really tedious. I spent like 2 days just iterating in and out on like what was wrong with this little pigeon. But basically, when you import from Blender to Unreal, it doesn't bake the materials for you, so you have to bake it yourself. And I tried baking, and essentially what baking is it's like the combination of just every single material or text you have onto into one. So you don't have to go over to Unreal and then match all your materials with the material slot. So over in Unreal, you'll have one material slot, which is really, really nice. If you want to, what I was trying to do, and I'll show you some later videos, but I was trying to change the color or the emissive of that material or of a character of one of my pigeons, and I ran into the problem of, oh, I have to change the emissive of every single material because there are like 8 material slots, which is no bueno. So first off, I'm going to show this, not a bug, but something like on my end that I did wrong, just in case I run into this problem again, or just in case you guys have run into this problem. But basically, and I'll show you how to bake stuff later. But basically, after baking, I have found that some of my pigeons had this little black little thing here. And it took me a long, long time to research on why this black little thing was here. But basically, um, let's see, I'm just going to reset this. I just wanted to show the black thing, and then we can now, I don't want to save that because I don't want the black thing to be there. Let's reopen it. Okay, so this is my before pigeon. Change the loadout. This is my before pigeon. As you can see, it's my flying pigeon. It's pretty sick if you ask me. But basically, I have a whole bunch of materials here, which I don't like, because then that means in Unreal I have like 12 materials and I have 12 material slots, and then I have to go in and change 12 materials if I want to change the emissive of it. And basically, what that black little spot is I forgot what it was, but it was something along the lines of some faces are covering other faces. So then when you UV map it, like one face is blocking the other face. So then the UV map turns out to be black. To be quite honest, I don't really understand it still. But um, that occurs because you have something like, I forgot where it is, but I believe something right here. Yeah. So it's because, or for me at least, it's because the whoopsies. It's because there was like a little fold within my pigeon. So if I shift this, yeah, up, okay. So right here on this line, it's really, really small, but there's a face in between this line right here. So from big line up top that my cursor's on to bottom line on bottom that my cursor's also on, there's also another face here. So what I found that could work or fix this was to just move it a little bit up. Just move one of your faces a little bit up, and now you can select this little line right here, um, which was hiding before. I think it was like folded or something, which creates that little black little spot after you bake it. Cool. And then I'm going to select body and then assign. We can delete this. Perfect. So now nothing's folded, and once I do bake it, it should be all good to go. So now let's go on to baking. Where do we start? Right. So first for baking, what we're going to want to do is let's go into object mode and select. I have 3 meshes that I'm working with. It doesn't really matter how many meshes you have, but I have 3 simple meshes, and each face has a color to it. There's no texture, no metallic, or no normal to it. So I'm going to do like a really, really simple, quick and fast tutorial of this. So you want to select one of the meshes, go over to data, and I already did it, but I'll just delete it for now, just to show for the tutorial. But yeah, so over in UV Maps, you have a Blender UV map that they made. We're going to make a new one. Let's name this one just Bake, because that's what we're going to do. And, oops, and we're going to want to bake all of them, or we're going to make bake for all of them, basically. And make sure that there's that blue little highlight on each of them, on each of the bake, so it's selected. And then from there, we want to select all of them. Click, not edit yet, actually. Let's, on the left side, in another little area here, you can get another area by going to like vertical split and split the screen. But I don't need that because I already got one. So vertical split, and then you can go over to UV editing, I think. Perfect. So now here's my UV editor. I don't know what happened. Doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, so now we want to select all the faces or all the meshes that you want to UV edit. Go into edit mode, press A, select all the faces, and now we have our UV mapping here. Over in UV mapping, let's leave this for now. You want to delete, if you have anything, just delete it. Select all, or I don't think you select all yet, new, and now I'll name this blend, I guess. And now you have your resolution. For this tutorial, you can do like 4K resolution, but my vision isn't too intense, so I'm gonna do 2K. And now, boom, UV mapping. Now what we have to do is Control A, or just A, I mean, Blender A is all, and then you click the U button. The U button will open up this unwrapping setting. We're gonna click on Smart UV Projection. Pulls up this island margin. This is all that's really important. Set this to 0.01. What this does essentially is it creates islands in between all your UV mapping. So this little line right here, that's the island margin. This little like little space between it is island margining. If you don't have island margin to large enough, your UVs will smush together, and then the material will smush together, and then you look like you have like a blob, or you have impurities essentially. So now that you've created this blend UV map, you have to now go to shading. Let's go to shading. Boom, shading. Over here, we're gonna have to do this with every single material, so it is rather quite tedious, but let's just start with whatever material we want. Body, let's do, I don't need that. Let's do head first. This is this little part right there. Shift A, search image texture, perfect. And then click this little image icon and blend. The bake was what I used to show like my little air. So whatever you have, blend, bake, doesn't matter. It's just whatever you created like 10 seconds ago. Now click on it, make sure there's a white border around it, Control C, copy it, go over to each and every single material and just paste it. Yeah. Make sure as well, whilst you're going through every single material, that you have that white border around it. So make sure it's selected is basically what I'm trying to say. So orange border, no good. White border is pretty chill, I'd say. Cool, 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 cool. Make sure everything's selected. Oh, it's gonna be a long ass video. My bad. All right, done. Cool. Everything is selected. Now it is time to bake. We can go back to loadout. Nope, let's just go back to shading. It just makes it better, easier. I kind of want this to be my port. Perfect. Let's go over here. Okay, so baking time. What we're going to want to do is you want to select all of your meshes. Now all your meshes are selected, all the UVs are set to bake, and then all your inside of your shading, all of the blend image textures are selected. Very important. So now here is the baking part. You go to render, render properties, switch EEVEE to cycles because you can't bake in that. Devices, GPU, if you have a GPU, I think it just makes it faster. Viewports, let's turn off noise threshold and change samples to 10. This just bakes it faster. Not quite sure why, but it just does. Bake, last and final thing. Okay, so I'm doing, because I have a really simple model, I'm only doing colors. So I don't have metallics, I don't have normals, I don't have anything else. So there are tutorials out there about how to bake metals. It's out there. Look it up. I'm so sorry. I'm not doing that here. But if you just want colors and you just have material, this is the video. Diffuse. Diffuse is essentially colors. Let's turn off influences. We're going to turn off direct and indirect. This is essentially lighting. So if you leave them on, it's going to bake the lighting onto your, it's going to bake in Blender's lighting onto your model, which we don't want. I think that's all. Press the bake. This might take a second depending on how intense or, yeah, my computer is yelling at me. But whatever, like however like intense your project is, this will like bake on, or this will take X amount of time. And in the bottom here, you can see texture is baking. Perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. And oh my God, I can't believe this took me 2 days. Cool. So this is our first baked material. This is going to be our body. That's going to bake something else. Another mesh. Combo mesh. I'm not gonna lie, I do not enjoy 3D modeling. But God, you should do. Boom. Wings. Perfect. Beautiful. And then finally, drum roll please, we have the camera. Please. Please don't make the video longer than it has to be. Alright. Perfect. Camera. Done. Everything's done. Perfect. 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 Um, look, you want to get rid of this. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. Ooh, I'll get rid of this little whatever. Okie dokie. So everything's baked onto this little blend sheet. This is your, I'm not quite sure what this is, to be quite honest. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is your image. So now we're gonna want to save it onto your hard drive. So save, we can name this whatever you want to name it, which I'm gonna, camera pigeon material not broken. Cool. Don't have to name it as long as I did. But now you get it for color. It's very important you keep it as RGBA. I think if you change it to metallic or normals, you have to change that. But for colors, I'm going to keep it as that. File format, PNG is pretty cool. JPEG is the same thing, but just smaller. So maybe we'll go JPEG. Save as image. Boom. Now that image is saved on your computer. What to do next? Great question. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create a whole new material. So click the new material, or on this side, you can also click new and then create a new material, just like any other material. And same thing, Shift A, search, image texture, already there, boom. This time, instead of clicking this little guy, you can click open, navigate to that camera pigeon, navigate to that JPEG, open image. Now it's here, drag the color in, put the color in there, perfect. Now it looks janky, but we will talk about that and why it looks janky. But first, let's assign this. Oh, I forgot to name it. What was it? Let's do combo, because we're combining everything together. Probably a better name for that, but combo. Boom. Set everything to combo. Get out of here. Combo. Perfect. Now, I usually back it up here. So I usually back up my project just before I delete all the materials, but I already have a backup, so let's just delete everything. Goodbye, materials. Okay, now clearly this doesn't look good, and this actually looks pretty terrible, actually, and you can't tell what it is. But that's because it's using the image, but it's not using the UV mapping that you created. It's using this UV mapping. So go into every single one and delete this UV mapping. You don't need it anymore. And drum roll, please. Pigeon baked, one material. Look at that. Check that out. Boom. What they know about that? Combo, combo, combo. Everything's baked onto one. No more black spot. Thank you for watching. Bye. I'm just gonna add this as well. Sorry, my bad. Never mind. Not over. Video continued. File to export everything. Control A. And the whole armature. I think I'll just go layout. This looks cooler. Control A. File. Export. FBX. Keep that as that. Forward. If you now I export to Unreal, so this is for Unreal stuff. For Unity, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't do that. So forward, X forward, Z up, geometry, change nothing, armature, get rid of add leaf bones, bake, get rid of this and this, export FBX. Boom. Now you have an export FBX. All materials are all the same, all into one. Now we opened up Unreal. It's going to have one material slot, and it's going to be beautiful, and you're going to do great. And good luck on your games. And goodbye.